Okay, so you got it.
I know a little bit about jazz.
Awesome. Bree Amaranthus of Sports Illustrated has a story today about Oregon OC Drew Maringer, who saw Diaz Hills burst last season and had one immediate thought: hey, we got to do something with this guy. Now the Ducks are looking for ways to unleash the dynamic running back in space. Doug Scott of the QB11 show calls the new Pac 12 the gas station beef jerky of college football conferences. Love that line. And Ryan Winter has a brilliant sit down interview with the voice of the Ducks, Jerry Allen, at Sports Chat 503. You'll find links to all those stories in the crawl on our show today. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Oregon Fan Show, the podcast where we talk with Duck fans and college football experts about the things that make us want to shout. Our guest today is Matthew Hale of Facebook and Twitter, one of my favorite guys who's had a really interesting life and several interesting connections to the Ducks. Matthew, tell us a little bit about yourself, recapping the things you told me off the air.
Oh, sure, Dale. Thanks so much for having me on. I've been a Duck fan my whole life. I was born at the now defunct Sacred Heart next to campus and grew up in Eugene and went to Oregon myself, graduated in 95. Was a proud member of the cheer squad for a few years there. And and I was telling you just before we went on the air that my daughter has been committed to U of O. She's starting her freshman year this year as part of the acro and tumbling team.
Man, that is interesting stuff. That had to be fun to be there. So you were there on the cheer squad the year the Ducks returned to the Rose Bowl after a 38-year absence.
That's right. That was my senior year, and it was quite a way to go out for sure.
Okay, when the pick happened, you're in the picture. Is that right?
I am. I'm actually the guy, because I was the captain of the squad that year. So I'm actually the guy trying to get my fellow cheerleaders out of the end zone because I didn't want to get a penalty thrown on us. But yeah, every time we see the pick, it's if they play it long enough, the 3 or 4 of us are in the end zone with Kenny Wheaton as he's coming in.
Oh yeah, okay. I can see that shot in my mind. The 3 of you coming up to pat him on the back.
That's right. Yep.
Oh, that had to be an incredible thrill.
It was. That was me and Todd and Kenny. Got to give them a shout out too.
Awesome. Do you still keep in touch with those guys?
I keep in touch with some of them. Yeah, there's a few. I just moved back to Eugene last summer too. So, and I've been away for a long time since I was 22 and graduated. So it's been fun to kind of reacclimate with some of the guys that are still in town here. So yeah, I'm back to interacting with them. We have alumni events that I started going to. It's been a lot of fun reconnecting.
Matthew, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this show is that I love the Oregon fan community, and I just feel like it's incredibly special.
Agreed. Yeah, it really is. We've got quite a reputation for having the type of fans that are welcoming, the type of fans that are passionate. I follow it year round as you do, so I'm always watching recruiting. I'm like, who's got the newest scoop? I'm always trying to find out, who's coming in and who's sticking around and what did Dan Lanning do this time. And it's been a fun off season this year for sure.
Incredibly fun. I mean, there are so many great storylines about the Ducks and developments. It sounds like your executive producer is talking in the background.
Yeah, I apologize. That's Lou. That's short for Luna. She's my half pit, half lab, and she's kind of my mascot too. He says you saw my sun duck background. That's a little branding thing I'm working on, and she's a part of that branding as well.
Well, that is because this is a very dog-friendly show. My executive producer, Choya, will probably weigh in at some point during this podcast to remind us that there's a squirrel or some type of intruder in the neighborhood.
Yep, mine's good at that.
Can you imagine, Matthew, the reaction that would have came from Rich Brooks had you guys gotten a penalty during the pick?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't want to think about that one, Dale. we ran into Rich Brooks a little bit because we were always at all the fundraising events and things like that. And you'd pass him in the Cass Center. We practiced actually upstairs in the Casanova Center. That's where we used to practice. Pretty wild to think about now. But yeah, we'd pass the coaches in the hallways. And Rich Brooks is a pretty serious guy when it came to football, so you didn't want to mess with that.
No nonsense.
Yeah, I saw him last year. He showed up at the alumni tailgater in the Mo, and that was kind of special.
Definitely. He looks good. He looks like he could still coach and fire up a locker room before a game.
I think so. It was impressive. I can tell you that the second he came into that tailgate area with what do they call it, the Order of the O.
Yeah.
The place just everybody was trying to figure out their angle to get a moment with him. That wasn't my place. There was ex-players and things like that involved. So I was just observing and watching and enjoying it.
Still, it has to be fun for you to be back in Eugene, part of it, reconnecting with fans you've known for 20, 30 years.
Oh, it's super cool. Yeah. And like you said, the way that Oregon fans are, I mean, we're just all one big family when it comes down to it. And you see how Lanning operates his team and how connected they are. I think they use that word all the time, connection and fellowship and those sorts of things. And I think that's why he's such a great fit as our coach. I much prefer him over the last guy.
I think that is a great point on your part. This group, that power of connection, it's a thread that runs through the whole program. And I think it's one of Dan Lanning's greatest strengths as a coach, his ability to create that and his consistency about fostering it.
I agree. It's such a huge priority to him. The fellowship part of it. He has the guys over to his house all the time. You hear all these stories and it's like, wow, this is really, it's special stuff because they share more than football. They share a personal bond. And I know, I tell my sons this. I've got 2 sons in college now, and then my daughter's coming into college. My sons are over at Washington State. But I tell my kids this all the time. The best friends you had in high school, they're not going to be your best friends in life. You're going to meet those people in college. And you're going to have more a connection to where you got your undergrad alma mater than any other connection you've had when it comes to schools and sports and those sorts of things. So yeah, the Oregon community is so good with that, and it's a lot of fun to watch. You see somebody else with the duck hat on in the airport. Go Ducks is very common.
I feel it should be in the Constitution.
That's right.
When you're out in public, you got the Ducks gear on, you've got to give back and go Ducks when you get one.
Hey, Dale, I lived in Seattle for 15 years from 2010 to 2025. And so I wore my Duck gear loud and proud up there. And so if I was able to do it in enemy territory, then I think we can all do it everywhere.
Totally agree. I've been in Cancun and Kihei, and you wear the gear when you're out. It's your favorite shirt or jacket or whatever. And if somebody gives you that shout out, you've got to give it back.
Absolutely.
Joey Harrington was in Italy. Near the Vatican, and somebody throws him the O, and he threw it right back. Be like Joey.
That's right. I've got a picture of me and Joey somewhere in my Facebook profile or whatever. He played in a golf tournament that I was helping sponsor up in Seattle one year, and so the two of us hung out a little bit. That was kind of fun to see him because he didn't know me before that moment because he came to Oregon a few years after I did.
I love Joey's role in the Oregon fan community.
100%.
He is like, I don't know, the elder statesman, the favorite uncle. He's just been so gracious since the air went out of the ball in the way he represents the program and the way he advocates for it, and his generosity with the Oregon fans.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, he's homegrown in the state. And so I think when you have that, and then you have the whole captain comeback sort of and then the flash in the O, and he had this whole nostalgia about him, that was, or a mystique, I should say. I mean, going up in Manhattan, all the billboards, and now we've got Dante Moore up in Tokyo. That's kind of crazy, right?
Oh, incredible.
We started with Joey.
Yes. And it's a fun campaign, the way they've turned it around and made it fun. Did you see the more video?
Right. Yeah, I've seen. Yep. When you've got two guys with the same last name and they happen to be working together pretty good, it's a nice combo.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just hilarious stuff. Really well done by the Oregon video team.
No doubt. They got a great crew.
They really do. I really look forward to those videos from the under construction series or during the season, Ducks versus them.
Oh, me too. Those are great to watch. And there's I like watching reaction videos from overseas too. And we've got some Duck fans in Australia and Europe, and some of them will watch those every week as well. So it's kind of fun to watch other people outside the country react to what our little Ducks are doing here in Eugene. It's pretty cool.
It's apologize for that. I was trying.
Oh, no worries.
I was trying to look for the more video, but we'll pop it up on another show. Talk to me a little bit more about your daughter, Oregon acro and tumbling. She's going to be an incredible athlete.
She's special. Yeah, my ex-wife was a college cheerleader and a dancer for the Sonics as well up in Seattle. And then of course I had my background in cheer, and that's kind of how I met her mother. So she's got two parents that are kind of athletes, and my sons were both great athletes. So I got to give her, most of her talent probably comes from not me, the other side, and which is fair to say, I'm sure. But yeah, she's been a traveling gymnast for a lot of years, all over the country, major meets and events, and has had a huge amount of success. So she started doing camp. She started camping with the Oregon acro and tumbling team a couple of years ago. And I remember last year, because I had just moved back to Oregon, my father was at home hospice, so I came home to help my mother with his end of life stuff. But when my daughter texted me that, hey, I just gave my verbal commitment to Oregon, just put it this way. I had a pretty good celebration, arms in the air. I was pumped. I was marching around. Pretty happy moment. And then I got to share that with my dad too, before his passing, which was pretty special. Because both my parents are lifers in Eugene, so they're forever Duck fans. So to see kind of that come through for them is a special thing for me too. But yeah, I can't wait to watch her compete. What those ladies do, and is just unbelievable. And what Aubrey can do as a tumbler, and then also as a flyer, I can imagine they're going to be able to use her really well.
Matthew, explain those roles, tumbler and flyer. What does that entail?
Oh, so tumbling is kind of what you would see in a floor routine in gymnastics, right? So it's a tumbling pass, back handsprings, back tucks and layouts and twisting layouts. And I don't know all the terminology, Dale. I'm just a man. But I've been to plenty of gymnastics meets, so I should know it better than I do. But yeah, and then when I said flyer, that's kind of when you're putting people in the air. And so this is what you see in like the cheerleading aspect of things that I did. It's the guys putting the girls in the air. After I finished up at Oregon, I did the stunt team for the Blazers, and then I went down to Arizona State to continue my education. And they brought me into their program, and the Suns would call me up, and I'd perform at their games. So I had a really all on a fluke at Oregon. I just got pulled into it accidentally because I happened to be working out in the gym one day, and 9 years later, I had made a pretty good life out of it through my 20s. Pretty crazy. So the flying part is the girl going up. So whether that's in a basket toss situation where there's a release and an aerial move above it, or whether it's just a hold, like you're just putting a person in the air, and they're doing hand to hand handstands and other types of stuff that are really that are really interesting that you'll never see from a cheer squad, because this acro and tumbling team is it's a different animal. And Oregon happened to be one of the founders to make it a D1 sport, I believe. So they took second in the nation last year.
That's incredible. That is some awesome stuff. I'm bringing up right now a screen of one of the women in action, and these women are athletes. I mean, compared to the gymnastics competitors, there's so much power.
There's power. Yeah, these are full grown college age athletes with some serious power. Yeah, that looks like what Aubrey does right there.
And Aubrey, you get recruited to this team. I mean, she's a 4-star recruit.
I don't know if they put stars on these athletes, but if they do, I would hope so. I mean, I'm a pretty proud dad, I'll be honest.
I was just kind of making an analogy.
Yes.
What I was trying to say was these are the elite of the elite in their sport, some of the most highly sought after competitors in their sport.
Yeah, and if I would have thought about it, if I don't know we were going to have this part of the conversation, I would have provided you some of the pictures from her photo shoot when she was there after she signed her LOI and came in for a recruiting visit. She got to do the whole photo shoot that all the football players do on the throne, carrying the big O, all the Nike stuff. So it's a pretty cool deal that she's gotten to be a part of. I'm excited for her.
It's very cool. I mean, you're talking about a team that's number 2 in the nation. We've got to have you back on as their season progresses, and maybe highlight a couple of their big meets, bring those photos, maybe a little video, and we'll keep up on them and follow them all the way to nationals. You can be our acro and tumbling correspondent if you want the job.
Yeah, bring it on. This year, I believe there was a rule change in the NCAA. They're actually they're making it a national championship sport now. So until this year, I don't think that they were awarding a national championship, so to speak, as a team event. And I don't even know how the scoring system works, Dale. So I'm going to have to learn it along with anybody and everybody that might follow along on your channel here. But I know there's different events, kind of like in track and field or like in gymnastics, where they can be scored on a tumbling, scored on a some sort of a strength build. I don't understand it yet, but I think it's going to be fun to follow and figure out.
You're going to be schooled this year. You're going to pick up a lot of stuff.
And no doubt.
That's awesome. Well, I look forward to following that with you as our guide, and it would be fun to have Aubrey on at some point if she's willing to do it.
Yeah, that might be a thought.
Now, I don't want to violate any rules. I know coaches have really serious rules about access to the athletes and so on, and I want to stay on the right side of the Oregon team. But here's a shot of her, I believe, or maybe is that Aubrey?
I can't
or
see
another
it,
Aubrey.
It probably is another Aubrey, because that looks like a happy birthday. And
okay,
and her birthday is September 17th, so I don't know and it wouldn't be up yet.
Okay, well that's a challenge. We're shouting out to somebody's birthday. That's a challenge.
There we go.
That's a challenge for the Oregon acro and tumbling coach, because what's the coach's name?
I don't even know the coach's name, Dale.
We got to learn.
I know, dude. She's just coming in. She hasn't even got to campus yet. She gets in September. So,
all right. Well, she's got a challenge because she's got 2 Aubreys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Hot and cold running Aubreys. That's amazing. But I look forward to following that with you. And I also look forward to talking with you about the most exciting season in Oregon football history. Are you up for this?
Let's go.
Are you feeling the energy of it? Do you buy into the hype?
I am. This is, I think I had made a comment on one of your posts on Facebook where I said, I'm usually pretty cautiously optimistic. I love my team, so I always want to believe we can win. I've never looked at Oregon's football team and thought, gosh, we don't have any weaknesses, and we're so deep that even if we get a few injuries along the way, it shouldn't derail us the way that it has in the past. This team is the most talented team, I believe, in college football this year because of how balanced we are across every position and deep. So much NFL talent across the board. You were mentioning Hale in your opening there. He's going to be a blast to watch. That running back group is going to be really fun.
I agree with you, Matthew. The exciting thing about Hill's story is they're looking for ways to expand his role.
Sure.
Line him out wide and get him in the slot. And, you know, he has the speed and elusiveness to be a big story in college football this year.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of guys that could be that story as well. It's pretty crazy.
I want to play a clip with you. Let's listen to Joe DeLeon. He's a national college football expert from the Rufino and Joe show. And this is him talking about this Oregon team and just how good they might be.
And a number of radio hits.
I know this show.
I've heard a number of radio hits the past couple of weeks, and people keep leading in asking about Oregon, and the way that it's been framed almost makes it seem like there's not really a belief that Oregon has the best roster in the country. I don't understand it. Oregon has the best team front to back in college football. The concerns for me have nothing to do with talent. It has everything in terms of their preparation and their success in big matchups, because Dan Lanning is still yet to break through. He had the one big win against Ohio State, but he still needs to get a big playoff win that's not over a Texas Tech squad that could barely move the ball on offense. They need to play better than they did against Ohio State and Indiana in those matchups where they got their doors blown off. But I do think that this is the year that they do break through. I think that they've got too much coming back. I don't think that Dan Lanning is Dabo or Sark or James Franklin in the regard where the hype was too much and it got to him, like we saw with all three of those favorites from a year ago. I just think that, Blake, when you have all those dudes that are top 75 picks in the upcoming draft, it would be nuts not to invest in them winning a title.
Well, Matthew, what do you think about that?
Well, I honestly, Dale, I couldn't hear it, and I didn't want to talk in the middle of it. Somehow the audio wasn't coming through on my end, but I have seen Joe and Rufino before, and I think I've seen that segment before. I just can't remember exactly what he was talking about. He's just previewing how good we are. Yeah, I couldn't hear it, though.
Oh, man, I may have to cut that out. That was probably a technical boof by me. Now, I have to ask you, you've gone black. Are you ever coming back?
Oh, with my shirt, with my gear?
No, your
my
picture,
screen?
your screen is not on. We're not seeing you.
Well, I don't know why.
Try leaving and re-entering through the link if you can.
Okay.
Because we need to see your handsome face. Right now, all we've got is me, and that's terrifying.
Okay, hang on.
And we're waiting for Matthew to make his re-entry. I apologize to everyone if the Rufino quote didn't play audio. If not, there he is.
Hey,
you're back.
Hey,
better than ever.
Let's go.
Awesome. I like the vintage Oregon gear that you're wearing. That's some good stuff.
Thanks, man.
Where'd you get it?
Not just internet. I don't know. I think I got the hat on Amazon, and this shirt's just I can't remember where I got it. Just every now and then just hop on Amazon and go Oregon t-shirts, and I try to look for something that isn't everybody else doesn't have necessarily.
Yeah, my wife has a $300 a week Amazon habit, and I'm right behind her. You know, as much as we loathe the oligarchs, we love the services they've created.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, it's almost shameful sometimes. I'm like, I hate supporting Bezos and his underground fortress, whatever he's building. It's crazy. But you know what? They're building an Amazon facility here just outside Eugene, so it's going to be overnight delivery instead of 2-day coming up.
Exciting. We can get even more Oregon gear.
There you go.
Yeah.
This
And
is
we
the
lo-
one I'm most proud of. Can you see this back here?
No, tell us about it.
Oh, that's just my Letterman's jacket.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is a wonderful piece of memorabilia. And when 70 years from now, when you pass, you'll have to pass that down.
Absolutely.
You said you had two sons. What are they doing?
So they're both at Washington State. One son is in computer science and the other one is pre-law. So, and then the one that's pre-law transferred over there from Everett Community College. He was able to play 2 years of college basketball at the community college level, which I thought was pretty good for a little 5'9.5", 5'10" white boy that weighs about $150. So
the athleticism runs deep in the Hale family.
Son's got it. My kids got it better than I did.
Okay. So when you go to games, do the kids come with you? Are there a group of people you like to sit with?
Yeah. So my kids, being that I moved back down from Seattle, they went with me when they were little, when I was able to bring them into town to go for a game. But no, since they've been adults, it's been a little tricky to try to get to games together. So I ended up, you asked about other cheerleaders. There's a couple other cheer guys that we tailgate with. I got my buddies, Ed and Todd and some of the other guys that are tailgating all the time. So, and Scott, I got a bunch of them. It's kind of fun.
What's your favorite part of the Autzen experience?
I think it's the energy and excitement when it's really loud in there. When an explosive play comes up, there's nothing quite like the energy, and just kind of just fills you with, I don't know, you want to burst. I just love that feeling when the place is alive and it just feels like the ground's moving. I love it.
When do you remember it being the loudest and most energized?
I've got probably 3 moments that come to mind for me from personal experiences. The first one was the pick. You and I talked about that because I was on the cheer squad and I was one of the guys that was welcoming Kenny Wheaton into the end zone. I was trying to get my guys out of the end zone because I didn't want a penalty call on us. And then the other ones would be, I happened to be at the Oklahoma game at Autzen, and I was at the Michigan game at Autzen, both in the early 2000s. One was 03 and one was 02, were they? But both of those games, the noise level was just deafening. And I remember still on Monday, Tuesday, feeling like I could still have the ringing of Autzen in my ears, if you know what I mean.
I love the way a great win stays with you. That glow in your heart for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, a week.
I agree. I think I've told people this too. I'm at an age now where I don't let a loss ruin me for more than an evening. It's like a loss. You just kind of got to go, hey, there's nothing you can do about it. You got to move on. But a win you can enjoy all week, baby. And you can enjoy for years a win. There you go.
There you are. You were in the shot.
Yeah.
You were in the shot.
Yeah, that's right.
Forever. I didn't mean to interrupt the flow of what you were saying. I just thought that fit what you were saying so well.
Absolutely. That, and then between that game and, like I said, the Oklahoma game with Haloti Nada, I think, is the guy that got in there and blocked that kick. What a crazy ending that one was. And then, so when I went down to Arizona State to get my graduate degree, my roommate was a Michigan alum. So he happened to be in the stadium with me when Michigan came to Eugene. And that was fun because at that time he was still kind of teaching me about what, real college football was from 99 to 01 while we were at ASU. So it's fun to kind of teach him back a little bit.
The Michigan coach, I think it was the Michigan coach, but someone said that Autzen Stadium was the place where dreams go to die.
Yeah, it was like great teams. That was Lloyd Carr. And that was after that game. that
Ewers gonna go back to
2003
throw the
game.
ball. Sets up, looks, throws toward the corner of the end zone. It is intercepted! Intercepted! The Ducks have the ball! Down to the 35, the 40. Kenny Wheaton's gonna score! Kenny Wheaton is gonna score! 20, the 10, touchdown!
That brings back some good memories.
Yeah, my timing on some of this techno stuff is not the greatest. You were talking about Lloyd Carr and what he said about Autzen and the effect it has on opposing teams.
Yeah, he said that that Autzen Stadium is where great teams go to die, and that was great for me because, like I said, my roommate in graduate school was a Michigan alum, and he liked to pretend like he was the expert on college football because they had so much more success than us up to that point. So the fact that we were both in the stadium that day was satisfying.
It's nice to have some bragging rights.
It is.
Dan Lanning, if Oregon's going to compete for that first national championship, to get that zero natties monkey off their backs, the fans in Autzen Stadium have a big role to play.
No doubt about it. We got to shout, right? I mean, we got to do our thing. We got to make it loud on third down. Just bring it. Just make life miserable for the opposing team. Give them a story to tell 10, 20 years from now about their experience playing at Autzen and what those fans are like.
And Duck fans have to bring the energy to those away games. They've got to travel.
And no doubt, I agree with that too. And we do that. We got a lot of good traveling. We got a good traveling team for the most part. And not only that, but Dale, this isn't my 1980s team that I used to ride my bike to go see games at. This team is they're in Japan making fans now, right? So we got fans everywhere. So even in away games, there's going to be Duck fans that aren't even having to travel. They're from that part of the country. That's one of the most fun parts of being a Duck fan, and having lived the mediocre and even not even that type of years to get to where we get to be now. Never take it for granted because we're very, very fortunate. And like I said, guys like you and guys like me that have been around long enough, we remember what it's like to not be that special.
The bad old days where they were designated almost weekly as the crummy game of the week.
Right. We were the doormat. We were the doormat.
I remember when Rich Brooks was trying to build this program, and he did a tremendous job of building it. I remember those days where they would travel to Ohio State or Nebraska for a paycheck game and get beat 58-3.
Yep. It's what teams do against us now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Crazy.
Amazing. Well, that's a little bit of nostalgia, and I love your insights and your memories of Oregon, how close you were to the story. What else are you looking forward to this year?
I'm just looking forward to all the talent. I want to see all that talent, both sides of the ball, even special teams. I don't know if we're going to have a kicker. Do we have a kicker? We'll figure that out later. But I want to see this team explode. I want to see them reach their potential. And I want the whole nation to go, holy moly, this is something different. Because it feels like, I don't know if you saw Joel Klatt in his top 25 preview show that he just came out with, but he said there's one clear number one, and then 2 through 7 are kind of a jumble mixed, and then he named his 8 through 25. But his clear number one's the Oregon Ducks.
Really powerful. Yeah. Really powerful to hear that from Klatt.
Yeah, Joel Klatt. So that's a good one, and it makes you a little uncomfortable having people. And I think he even said in his show, he said, Dan Lanning told me not to say that or not to pick him, but he goes, I got to.
The rat poison, man. It's being dispensed with barbecue sauce this off season.
That's right. Well, Matt, I'm looking forward to seeing all the receivers too. I mean, with Eastu coming back, it sounds like he had an amazing offseason. I think he's going to have an insane year. And of course, Decorian Moore, and then this Jalen Lott kid from Texas is a true freshman. They're talking about how he's wowing them at practice already. You got the Gatlin Bear from Idaho finally back after his 2-year mission, runs a 10.1 or something like that, I think was his top. So did you see it on the NCAA game? He has the fastest player speed rating of any player in the NCAA, and he hasn't even played it down yet.
10.12. They're about, in the whole history of track and field, there are about 100 prep sprinters that have run that fast.
Crazy.
It is crazy. They've got 3 guys who are 10.4 sprinters, and they're the slow guys.
It's nuts. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to run people off the field. It's going to be fun.
I hope, one of my biggest hopes, one of the things I'm really looking forward to is I hope that Drew Maringer and Dan Lanning turn that group loose.
Turn them loose. Yes. You got best arm in football and a bunch of guys that can catch it. Let it fly.
I totally agree. And a run game that sets it up so beautifully.
Yeah, and I'm not even worried about the offensive line that much. That's the one semi-question mark people talk about. But I saw an interview with it's Coach Terry, right? Leak Terry.
Yes.
For the O-line. And he was just glowing in this interview, talking about his O-line and how cohesive they are, how the old guys are bringing in the new guys, and how they really got 8 guys right now that he feels more than serviceable for, to play a lot. So it'll be interesting to see how the chemistry comes together. But I'm not that worried. I think the O-line is, you got these guys from the last 4 years that Lanning's been there, bringing in these beefy dudes, and they're ready now. So I'm looking forward to see what they do. And then defensively, if we can get into the backfield and just let's sack some quarterbacks this year. No reason that we need, what would we rank 43rd in the country in sacks last year, something like that. I can't remember the exact number. But I think that's the other fun thing to watch is just the speed and how we get in the backfield and just wreak havoc. Really
good point about the sacks. Last year, the Ducks had 30. Miami and Indiana that played in the national championship game had 50 and 49.
Mm-hmm.
2 most important factors in college football: explosion and havoc. And Oregon has the roster to have a lot of both.
I think so. Get used to seeing Nasir Wyatt's name too. I think he's going to get a lot more reps this year, and he's super effective at getting around the corner.
I completely agree. Let's listen to a minute of Ali Terry talking about this offensive line and his plans for him.
Early thoughts on Coach, I was early thoughts on kind of what Tommy and Manny have shown. And is it realistic that a true freshman could start or play a big role in your guys' system?
No doubt. I think Poncho is a perfect example of that. Poncho, when he first got here, he rotated with Stephen Jones, and then later on that year with Marcus Harper, and both of those guys had successful careers. And speaking to Manny and Tommy, they've come out hitting the ground running. And they're both, like I said earlier in spring, they're both physically gifted. Manny's obviously behind a little bit just because he didn't get here till later, but you can see the physical specimen they are. They love the game. They're constantly with each other. They're constantly trying to get more, constantly getting with Coach Walk and the law firm and making sure they get some extra meetings and getting that kind of stuff in now because they know their role could end up being much larger later on down the year. As much as they put in, it could happen maybe earlier in the year. Who knows? But they've done a tremendous job with the amount we've thrown at them on purpose, and they've done a good job absorbing it, taking it on, asking the whole law firm for questions, and not being afraid to ask questions. I think young guys tend to be afraid to ask questions at times. They're not in that stage right now.
Ali Terry, Matt, is the law firm, Matt Cavanaugh and Ryan Watt, that assist him. They are the best in the business.
I think I agree. I mean, I don't really know I wish I was a better expert at O-line and all this stuff, but the way that they recruit and the way that players talk about them and how they develop, I think you're onto something there, Dale.
detailed teaching. There was a clip yesterday of Matt Kavanaugh and Ryan Walk at work. It was Oregon video clip. I love those clips. And man, they're just working with the guys one-on-one, teaching them the right way to go into the pass set, the right level for their hands in front of them. And, you know, they've had 3 straight Joe Moore Award finalists. And I feel like this is the year they win the award.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why it can't be. It seems like every year we're replacing guys on the O line, and they still end up being a finalist for the award, like you said. So it's three in a row. Why not win it this time, right? We got some big old dudes, and I'm really interested to see what Hanacho and what Tommy Tofi can do as true freshmen. Sounds like they're just beastly men. The idea of Hanacho kind of reckons back to a Penei Sewell kind of hype coming out of high school.
It does, but I think the hype is legit. I mean, you're talking about 2 guys who are 6'6", 340 plus and squat 650 pounds and have been training like grown men NFL players since they were sophomores.
Absolutely.
I have Tommy Tofi's dad, John Tofi, on the show tomorrow. Or no, I'm sorry, on Thursday. I'm really looking forward to talking with him.
That's very cool. Yeah, that's neat to get insights from the family for sure.
And I think that's another of the strengths of Dan Lanning and his program is the way it is a family, and he incorporates the family, and he looks for guys that have a strong family foundation.
You're right. You can tell the character of the guys he's looking for, and he finds it in their family. He makes those family connections beautifully. I think it's an asset to how he recruits because the family members are comfortable and confident in where they're sending their son to spend a few years of their life and to get developed into a man that can perhaps go to the NFL, but perhaps be ready for life after school.
He said often that I'm not interested in just making them good football players. I want them to be good men, good fathers. I want them to have success in their careers.
Right. And the other thing that, I'm sorry to not interrupt
No,
you.
please go ahead. This is your show.
One of the things that I'm liking that I'm hearing in these player interviews as well is the legacy piece, that they're filling shoes of the players before them and don't take that lightly. You know, the landscape of college football is changing, but don't let what it means to the fans change. And I think that our coaching staff is doing a good job of that, because what I'm hearing from the players is, hey, if this is quarterback now, I have to think about not just the guys that maybe have been here under this coach, but I got to think about Herbert and Harrington and Chris Miller and Dan Fowler. You got to go way back to think about the total legacy of what a quarterback is at Oregon and fill those shoes the way that it should be filled at a place like Oregon. And I think that's pretty fun to see that the guys are taking that they're putting a lot into that. It matters to them to leave something behind, to maybe have something in the record book that they can point to, and to have success, to lay the groundwork for the guys to come after them too.
Who can you bring with you?
Right.
Yes, there's very much a sense of that, very much in this group, a sense of there's a certain way you carry yourself as an Oregon football player, a certain standard you work toward. And it's just, I love seeing that.
I do too. So there's certain players that are standing out in kind of the way they carry themselves that make me such a proud Duck fan. Tam Tuiyoti's a good example. Have you seen him in interviews? And just how, I mean, he's just very, very intelligent and he's smooth. He's like an enjoyable interview. You just want to hear what he says. And then the other one, Evan Stewart has been so fun to watch interviews too. You can't wipe the smile off his face. He's just such a beam of light, ball of energy everywhere he goes. Decorian Wars got for a guy that could be. I mean, he was a number one recruit in the nation for wide receiver, right?
Yes.
But he keeps it humble, and I think it goes back to what you were talking about in player evaluation and dealing with the family. Dan Lanning looks for that incredible talent who is also humble enough to come in and learn and not think he's going to change anything. For you know what I mean? Like, he's not gonna ruffle any feathers. He's going to come in and be a part of something special, and willingly so.
The best players, the truly great ones, are guys who work like they were journeymen. You look at Larry Bird or Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, Jerry Rice, any sport, Tom Brady, they had that standard of relentlessness about the way they prepared and the way they worked. I know you had it, working in the gym as an Oregon cheerleader.
Yeah, I mean, we put in thousands of hours. It's especially as a guy on the cheer squad, nobody's looking at us. They're impressed that we can put the girls in the air, but really you understand what the role is, but yeah, it's a little underappreciated because you spend all that time working on it and everything, but it's not so much you get more out of it in other ways. It's not the reason you're doing it. You're doing it to be a part of something special, even talking from a former cheerleader's perspective. It was great to be sort of that, like you were talking about, the proximity to it, the feeling of it on the field. Being on the field at the Rose Bowl, I met Ahmad Rashad before the game. I got my picture taken with him, and just little things like that kind of add up. But when I look at the excellence of the players you're talking about and the work ethic that it takes, that is the type of thing that I think Lanning is instilling in these guys. And you hear these coaches talk, and man, I mean, I didn't realize how much I don't know about football.
I learn that every day. I always like to say I'm the Jon Snow of Oregon football. I know nothing, but my guests are funny, smart, and better looking than average. And I appreciate having you as one of those guests.
Well, thanks so much. I mean, when you mentioned me coming on, I'm like, I don't know who I am, but I love my Ducks, so I'm more than happy to hop on with you. Yeah, I run into some of these guys. One of my roommates when I was at Oregon was on the football team, a guy named Eric Johansson, and he's on the coaching staff at North Eugene now. And he was one of my roommates for 3 years. So
awesome.
So I ran into other players. I run into Alan Amundsen these days. I ran into Dino Filia a couple of weeks ago. So it's kind of fun being back in Eugene for that reason too. You run into some of these guys.
What Dino Filia has a barbecue joint, doesn't he?
He does. I think he does catering. He's active during football season. He doesn't have brick and mortar, so it's just for catering and when he trucks it out and at an event. And so I don't know exactly how he does it all, but he's got 3 daughters, I believe. They're all really strong athletes himself that he was talking to me about. So it was kind of interesting to run into him.
Oh, it had to be. I mean, the star, the hero of the 1993 Civil War, or excuse me, the 1994 Civil War, 12-yard screen pass in the fourth quarter.
Was that the Civil? Oh yeah. Excuse me, the Civil War. Yeah, and he was also one of the stars of the USC game, which was fun to be. That was an incredible. That was 22. Was it 22-7? We won that game down at the Coliseum. First time we had beat him, and since like 71 or 72, and he went helicoptering into the end zone on one play around the right hand side. And I was reminding him of that play when I saw him. I was like, that's what I remember. When I think of Dino Filia, I think of you helicoptering into the end zone at USC. But you're right. The play at Oregon State up there too was another good one.
Dancing in the end zone with Mike Parker, who turned out to be a turncoat.
Yeah.
No, Mike's built a beautiful career covering the Beavers, and I love following him. Now Fia and that USC game, they had Tony Graziani at quarterback.
That's
Danny
right.
O'Neill was out.
Yep. Yeah. Danny O was out. I think he got hurt at Wazoo the week before or something. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, Tony played, and I knew Tony decently back in the day as well. But he played a great game that day. Josh Wilcox had a huge game catching the ball at tight end. He's another guy, Junction City kid. And I used to run into him and hang out with him in Portland sometimes. So, yeah, just that particular team, obviously soft spot for me because that was my last year. And I still talk to Kristen McLemore. He's a friend of mine. I used to call him when I was on the way at AAU basketball tournaments and stuff with my son Ty, and I'd be like, "Hey, let's call Chris McLemore and get a little pep talk." And so C-Mac would talk to my son when we were on our way to basketball tournaments and stuff like that. So it's fun to have those connections.
Oh my goodness. I gotta say, and I'm not supposed to have favorite players because I'm supposed to be a journalist, but I'm not a journalist. I'm just a guy who loves to talk to people about college football. Kristen McLemore is going to be on the show next week, and I've got to say, yes, yeah,
I'll tell him I said hi.
I will, and I mean he's a great dude. He's a great follow on Facebook, but he had,
yeah, he's a great follow on Facebook.
He comes up with some outrageous stuff, and the thing I love about him, he's 100% unfiltered.
He is himself.
Yes,
no doubt about it.
McLemore at all times. But he was probably he was my favorite Duck on that team. It was a great unit, an amazing football team, and they had such guts as a group. But man, he was just always so clutch and so explosive.
He would rise up. Yeah, he was catching balls above defenders and then coming down on them. It was, he was definitely the showman of that team too. Always had his abs showing and wearing his uniform a certain way.
The crop top jerseys,
those crop top jerseys, kind of mesh. Those things were funny. But yeah, he was fun. He would have been a junior that year. That would have been Pat Johnson's freshman year, that 94-95 season. So, and there's another guy that I've run into Ruben Drones and Pat Johnson a time or two as well. Ruben might remember. I don't think Patrick would, but Patrick and I shared the cover of the Register Guard that year. The day of the Civil War, there was an image from the previous week at Stanford after the game where I didn't even know the picture was taken, but Pat Johnson was right behind me with his helmet in the air, and I just had my fist in the air towards our fans down at Stanford Stadium. And all the players were coming up, and there was the Stanford had blown up like a little cloud at the base of the field goal with the stands or whatever. So just so people wouldn't climb it. There was nobody rushing the field. I don't know why they did that, but it made it this sort of mysticky, sort of almost like a war coming through it's almost like soldiers coming through the mist is what the picture kind of looked like. And so I share that picture with Patrick Johnson for the rest of time too, because it was the entire front page of the Oregonian on the following Saturday, which was strange to see.
Next time you come on, you've got to bring that picture.
All right. I've got it.
Okay, that's Stanford 1994.
Yeah.
That was the game where McLemore set the Oregon record for receiving. Oh, I think he had like 220 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were going up against Scott Frost that day too. I believe Scott Frost was still at Stanford, and we ran him off the field. That was a fun game too.
Okay, if Scott Frost was the Stanford quarterback, I think that makes Bill Walsh the Stanford coach then.
Ooh, that might be right. Wow, I forgot about that.
Amazing stuff.
Absolutely.
Matt, we're running out of time. We've talked now for 55 minutes, a therapist hour, and you've been the therapist. I hope you come back, and when you do, bring some of those pictures, and we'll just talk some more Duck football. It'd be great to have you again.
Yeah, hit me up just like you did this time, Dale. Just DM me, whatever. And I'm honored. I'm glad you invited me on. It's been a pleasure.
Great memories, great personalities, and moments in Oregon football history. And this year is going to be an incredible story to talk about.
No doubt about it. Let's go.
Matthew Hale, thank you very much, and go Ducks.
Go Ducks, Dale.